Hey, welcome back to the First Time Homebuyer Survival Series. My name is Steve. I'm a real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario, and this is part, how many fingers do I have? 5. We're doing one of these videos every single day for the rest of the year to help you fully prepare to buy your first home in 2026. This entire series is based on my First Time Homebuyer Survival Guide. If you want the PDF of that to be able to refer back to, the link is down in the description. And if at any point you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. My contact info is also down there. All right, let's get into it. In this video, we are talking about down payments, probably the most important piece of the puzzle for first-time buyers. So your down payment is just the portion of the home that you're paying for up front, and then you're financing the rest via a mortgage. The larger your down payment is, the easier it becomes for you to qualify for that mortgage. The smaller your overall mortgage amount will be, and the lower your monthly payments will be. A bigger down payment will make your life easier all around. If you combine a strong down payment with a great credit score like we spoke about in the last video, then you're setting yourself up for premium mortgage terms. All right, so when it comes to down payments, there's a couple rules you need to know about how the minimum amount you need works. It used to be pretty simple. You used to just have to put 20% across the board, but today it's a little bit different. So how it works today is the minimum is 5% on the first $500,000. And then from $500,000 to $1.5 million, the minimum is 10%. And then anything from $1.5 million up is minimum 20%. So how it works, for example, if you're buying a $600,000 home, the first $500,000 will be subject to the minimum 5%. So that's $25,000. And then the remaining $100,000 on the purchase price is going to be subject to a 10% minimum. So $25,000 plus 10% of 100 is going to be 10 grand. So your total payment is going to be 25 plus 10, $35,000 is your minimum for a $600,000 home. Now, here's the thing. There are consequences to going below the 20% minimum. If your down payment is below 20%, you must pay what is called mortgage default insurance, also known as CMHC insurance. This amount gets added directly into your mortgage, increasing the overall amount, and depending on what your down payment is and the purchase price, it can increase your monthly payment from anywhere from $100 to a couple $100 per month, maybe even more than that. So why does it work like this? Because when you put less money down, you're statistically more likely to default on your mortgage and walk away without paying off the remainder. If you've only put 5% down, it's emotionally and financially easier for somebody to walk away from that mortgage than if you put 20% or more down. So CMHC steps in to insure the lender. That's why the lower your down payment is, the more expensive borrowing becomes, because you personally have less skin in the game. Now, there is one important nuance here. There are circumstances where you could put more than 20% down, but certain lenders may still require mortgage insurance, depending on, it could be your credit score, it could be your income structure, your employment status, maybe you're self-employed. Some lenders might still require that, even if you've put 20% down. It's not super common, but it can happen, so just keep that in mind. You're going to want to talk to your mortgage broker to make sure you're fully aware of what you're going to be paying. All right, so there's 3 main buckets that your down payment can come from. This is one of the most common questions that first-time buyers have. Where can we take it from? Well, the first one, pretty obvious. It's going to be just your personal savings. That's what you have in your bank account, your TFSA, any high-interest savings, any investments that you have. You can sell them off. You can use that to fund your down payment. Now, the second place is the RRSP through the Home Buyers Plan. The Home Buyers Plan lets you withdraw up to $60,000 from your RRSP tax-free as long as you pay it back over time. Most first-time buyers don't know how powerful this actually is because RRSP contributions generate a tax refund, which you can also use towards your down payment. Now, the third way you can get it is through gifted funds. Parents or family can gift you a portion or the entirety of your down payment, and this is extremely common. You just want to make sure that it's actually a gift. Some lenders will require a gift letter confirming that it is actually a gift and not a loan. If it's considered a loan, if your parents give you money that is considered a loan, then that will go towards your overall debt service ratio, and that's not going to be as powerful as gifted funds will be. Gifted funds are there's no obligation for you to pay them back, and it won't count to your overall debt load. All right, so how do we actually save it up? If you're not quite sure, there's a couple things you can do. The first thing that you want to do is try to automate your savings. You don't want to necessarily go with, I'm going to save whatever's left over, because then in that situation, you end up saving nothing. So what you can do is you can set up an automatic transfer on your payday into a separate savings account and then just forget about it, okay? You want to be paying yourself first before you pay all those other bills. So you get your paycheck, let's say your paycheck is $3,000, you take out however much you're saving right away before you do anything else. You take out, let's say you're putting $500 into that savings account for your down payment. That comes out first before you pay your bills, before you pay anything else. You want to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and taking care of your financial future first, okay? So that's the first thing. Second is to drop lifestyle inflation. Most people, when they get a pay increase, they increase their spending, and then what happens is as their pay goes up, their lifestyle expenses go up, and then they never end up actually getting ahead. So instead, if you ever get any raises or any increases like that, any extra money comes in, you want to pocket that, put it into your savings account, put it into storage, because that's going to fund your down payment, it's going to fund your future. Keep your costs the same. Next thing to look at is any debt that you have. You want to get rid of the high interest debt first. There's a couple different philosophies when it comes to paying down debt. Some people like to do something which is known as the snowball method, which is paying down the smaller sum first, just to kind of build up that momentum and make yourself feel a little bit better about it. And that's great and all. If that works for you, go for it. But if you can, you want to attack the high interest debt first. If you have two balances, one is charging you 5% interest and the other one's charging you 20% interest, even if this is a larger amount, it's going to take longer to pay down. You want to attack that one first, because you're paying 4 times the amount of interest on that, and it's going to be really hard to get out from under that if you don't tackle it first. Cleaning up that high interest debt will not only make it easier to save for your down payment, but it'll also improve your overall financial situation. It'll improve your credit score, which will make it easier to get your mortgage as well. Another thing you can do is to find a cheaper place to rent or move back home temporarily while you pad those savings. It's not really glamorous, but financially it can be a cheat code. I'm not going to tell you to cut out the Starbucks or the avocado toast or any of that, because like those are really small things. What you want to do is you want to focus on the 20% of things that are making up 80% of your bill. So that's usually food, housing, and transportation. That's the bulk of people's budgets. So look for where you can make some changes there, typically on the housing and the transportation fronts. If there's anything you can do there to minimize the amount that they're costing you, it can go a long way. You don't have to cut out going to the movies once a month with your friends. Now, the fifth and the most powerful thing that you can do to save up your down payment is to use the First Home Savings Account. This is one of the newest programs that's been introduced, and it is a complete game changer for first-time buyers who are trying to get into the market. It's basically a combination of the TFSA and the RRSP. For tomorrow's video, I'm going to be breaking down the First Home Savings Account more in depth so that you can understand fully how to utilize it and maximize the benefits that you get from it. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification so you don't miss that. Okay, so how do we actually choose the amount that we're going to put down for the down payment? Even if you have enough to put 20% down, depending on your situation, it might not make the most strategic sense. So when to aim for a lower down payment? Well, if you're early in your career and you want to start building equity ASAP, you don't necessarily maybe want to save up for that higher down payment to make the 20%, or you'd rather keep more cash on hand for renovations, or if you want to have emergency savings, or if you're using the First Home Savings Plan or the Homebuyer's Plan and you want some flexibility. Remember, keep in mind that will be subject to CMHC insurance. Now, when do you want to aim for 20%? Well, if you want to avoid that CMHC insurance completely, you want the lowest possible mortgage payments, or you're planning to stay in the home long term. One thing to keep in mind about down payments is that it's not the only amount that you're going to have to pay when you buy the house. There are other fees associated with it, so you don't want the down payment to be draining your entire savings account. You want to have some money set aside for other closing costs. You also, when you close on the house, you want to have some money set aside for some repairs. There's inevitably, when you buy a new house and there's some turnover, there's some things you're going to want to change. There might be some maintenance issues. You want to make sure that you have a buffer set aside for all of that. Don't have the down payment be every last penny that you have, okay? Build yourself a buffer. You're going to need extra money for other closing costs. There's other expenses we're going to go into in a later video, but for now, just make sure that you're not using the entirety of your savings for the down payment. All right, and if you're not quite at the point where you have the full down payment that you want for the type of house that you want, don't worry. Just like your credit score, start building it up now. All right, this was part 5. I hope this video was helpful. Now, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the video tomorrow. We're going to go into the first home savings account, like I mentioned. So hit the bell notification. You don't want to miss that. We're going to be putting out one every day for the rest of the year. And if you want the PDF version of the first time home buyer survival guide, that's down in the description. You can also reach out to me with any questions you have, or you can drop it in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.